The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
The police were there. Everybody was there.
And when did you start doing albums with Cheech? When did that happen?
71.
How'd that all take place?
Well, we came to L.A. in 70, and we struggled. All the places we could work. And then we started being a regular at the Troubadour. They had Hootenanny night, Sunday night.
What's that mean? What's Hootenanny? That's
Hootenanny
like
is when folk singers would get on stage and sing a song.
Hootenanny.
Hootenanny, the Hootenanny night. And so all the singers would sing, and so we would get up and do comedy. And, of course, we became regulars, In fact, the Troubadour would phone us up and say, "Are you guys coming?" Because they had a lot of requests.
And how did it turn into this weed-based comedy?
Well, it was the only thing that worked in this audience, the weed. See, when we were the City Works, it was all TNA,
Right.
But when we got down here, we had to go right for the stoners because that was what was going on, And so we played a club in Reseda, Irma Hotel. That was what it was called. And it was owned by a big fan. He saw us work somewhere, and so he hired us for 2 nights. And the first night we had to do 2 shows, but it was a dance club. And so the dancers had to stop dancing, sit down, and watch us do a show. And that was not a good combination. So the first show didn't go very well because we were doing TNA stuff, and it just didn't go over. And so the second show, Cheech and I got together, and I said, "Cheech, come on, man, you're from here. There must be a character you can do." And the night before that, we were standing outside, and this lowrider pulled up, and he goes, "Hey, man, you tell me how to get to Reseda Boulevard." And Cheech says, "Oh, you're on it." He goes, "Oh, thanks, man." And he drove away. And it was that character. And Cheech says, "Yeah, we can do that character." And then I showed him the car bit. This an old black comedian showed me, Sir Pineapple. He showed me this old, taking a girl out on a date, and he just make the car appear by pretending to wash it, wax, just do the mime, and the car would appear, and then Cheech got in the car, and he's driving, and then he goes, "Hey, Red Freak, want to ride, man?" And then I would come out, and we'd do our skits, and it went over really well. As soon as we started doing, weed and pills and stuff like that, everybody related.
So you feel like you had that, and then you just ran with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then we just improved. And so when we met, Lou Adler saw us, and we never thought about doing a record until we went to meet in his office. And he's got gold records all over the place. And we said, "Yeah, we'll do a record." I was a big Lenny Bruce fan anyway, because when I got high the first time, the guy gave me a joint and a Lenny Bruce record.
Oh, it's a good combination.
So I studied that record for months. And so that was ingrained in my head. And so then when we started doing, the first bit we did was an accident. Cheech got locked outside the mix-down room that we were on La Brea, the old Charlie Chaplin studio. Mm-hmm. And it was a little courtyard where the sun was beating down. It was like noon, and it was hot. And Cheech is a method actor, and he had to put on all the costumes, to get into character. So he's got all these costumes on. He knocks on the door, and I was working the tape recorder, and when he knocked, I looked up at the door, and I didn't see if the needle moved or not. And so when he knocked, I didn't answer, and then he knocked again, and I saw the needle moved. And so I said, "Who is it?" And I was supposed to just open the door and let him in. And so there's a pause. "It's me, man." He goes, "It's me, let me in. Come on, man." So then is
that where Dave's Not Here came from?
Yeah, so I waited, then he knocked again. In a long pause, the pause. "Who is it?" And he's getting mad. "Come on, man, it's me. I think the cops saw me. Come on, open up." They went into character. Then I would just wait. He's waiting for me to open the door. Then he knocked again. And then when finally goes, "It's me, Dave, man, Dave." I said, "Dave?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Dave's not here." He blew it, man. He's kicking the door, screaming, open the door. You almost punched me. But I said, listen. We played it back, Then Lou heard it. We recorded it. Not as funny, but we recorded it. And next day, it was all over America.
Wow.
Cheech and Chong was born.
Wow. And then how long after that did you start doing movies?
7 years. 78. We started doing the movies because I got tired of going to Australia.
Did you guys get accused of promoting pot?
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you get, like, accused, like, you guys are a bad influence on
yeah.
the youth? And what was that like?
Yeah, it was nothing really. It was more publicity, basically, you know. You know, it's just people. You know what really, I noticed anyway, it was the comedy establishment, the committee and the Second City and all those guys. They hated us.
Really?
Hated us.
Why?
Except Belushi. Belushi was the only one that loved us. Because Belushi was young enough that he heard our records and it influenced him. But these other guys, like, what's his name? Can't even think of his name now. Maybe it's better. I don't even name him. But they Howard Hessman, he was one of the committee members, you know, and you know, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He was a big, and I got influenced by him big time because I saw him doing the committee in San Francisco, and they had a top-notch improv group there, and they were incredible. And that's where I got the inspiration to go up and turn the strip club into a improvisational club because I love improv.
But why didn't those guys like you? What was?
Because we were successful. We took what they were doing and took it out of that snotty theater. You know, I'm so evolved theatrically.
Yeah.
You know that who does records? You know, that kind of thing. And next thing you know,
so records were bad back then.
Well, they ended up trying to do a record, but they had no clue. You know, like, see, I'm a fighter, man. I've been in the trenches forever. You know, I've been playing black clubs as long as I can remember. And so I've seen a lot of humor, a lot of the stand-up comics, you know. Red Fox was a real good friend of mine.
Did you ever do his comedy club?
His?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever hear those Richard Pryor tapes from the Red Fox's comedy club? They would record him, like, doing his workout sets. Fucking amazing stuff.
Oh,
man.
amazing. Oh, yeah, Richard. And Richard was a big fan.
Yeah.
Now, see, we had fans like that. When Cheech and I did the comedy store after Up in Smoke, we broke up with Lou, and we were broke. We had a hit movie, no money, nothing coming in.
Really? What happened? They stole your money?
With Lou?
Yeah. Who's Lou?
Lou Adler.
Okay.
He's the producer and director of Up in Smoke. And although I wrote it and directed most of it, and especially the ending, I directed. I like I said before, I'm not into the money part of it.
But how were you guys broke?
Well, we weren't getting any money from our life because we had to stop touring because of the movie, and so we had no touring money coming in.
Right.
And then we got paid, a little bit on the movie, but nothing compared to what we were making on the road. And
but it was a hugely successful movie, right?
Totally.
I mean,
but that's the way it is.
Giant. Just they took all the money.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we got dribs and drabs at the end of the accounting.
Yeah,
time,
Hollywood accounting.
Yeah, at the end of the period of when you forget when you've gone on to something else and then you get a check. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But so Cheech and I went to the Comedy Store to get our act together. And Richard Pryor helped us off the stage. We had about 5 sold-out shows. Pauly Shore was a little guy up in the light booth and watching us because he was too young to be in the crowd. And as we walked up the stage the first night, Richard was there. He held out his hand. It was the greatest compliment ever.